Hello, hi, welcome back to my course on enhancing soft skills and personality. I am Ravichandran from the Department of Humanities Social Sciences of IIT Kanpur. I am giving you this course through NPTEL MOOC. This is 7th week and the 4th unit, and this is on the whole 34th lesson. And this unit I am going to introduce a very interesting concept that you might all be enjoying in terms of even watching and listening to it, that is love and personality. So let us see how love is interlinked with personality and how do people perceive you when you are in love with someone, and in terms of professional commitments, so what does it mean, and then why is it that somebody is in love with someone is normally liked by people in general. What is it this feeling doing to the personality? So before we go deep into this concept, look at what we did in the previous lesson, highlights of the last lesson. We understood the significance of managing health by eating and sleeping well. So when we don't eat or sleep well, it actually shows up on our face. Our skin lacks luster and dark patches appear below our eyes. So hence any physical exercise needs to be balanced with appropriate diet and adequate sleep. You should ensure that you eat 3 regular meals per day, starting with a heavy breakfast, moderate lunch and light dinner, that is preferably before 7 p.m. You should avoid all white colored food, particularly maida, salt and sugar, and then eat as many vegetables and fruits as possible. You should drink minimum 2 liters of uncontaminated water per day, and at the same time you should avoid any carbonated or alcoholic drinks. Besides, sleeping in time for 7 to 8 hours is a must for maintaining good health. You can ensure sound sleep by avoiding the following: taking naps for long hours in the afternoon, eating heavily at late night, using electronic gadgets on the bed, keeping mobile or laptop just on your side, watching TV. So those things should be avoided, and at the same time you can get good sleep by keeping the environment of the bedroom clean, keeping the bed sheets, pillow covers washed regularly, changed frequently at least once in a week, and then using a cozy pillow for resting your head and feet will all make you comfortable and make you get a very good sleep. At the same time, we also learned that lack of sleep can be dangerous, as apart from causing many diseases, it can also lead to sudden collapse and cause imminent death of a person. Overall, we learned that all fatal diseases are caused by wrong food choice, toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies and lack of physical exercise. Now in this unit, if you remember, while concluding the previous one, I said that for a very happy life, so you should be able to eat off and then exercise double, laugh triple and love without any measure. And I assured you that let's look at how you can love limitless, without any measure, unconditionally, and what are the benefits of experiencing this emotion called love. Now, love and personality. A person in love, as per definition, has a great affection or liking. This is the simple definition of love. Now, if somebody is taking to the extreme or getting addicted or making is a very negative thing, it's a wrong way of interpreting love. But the correct way is just to take it as a positive emotion, something that is expressed as a liking or as a great affection. So instead of saying the normal affection, I like you, it goes beyond that likeness. Now while love is generally narrowed down to romantic love, so normally when we talk in terms of love, we think that it's about romantic love, it's between man and woman, boy and girl, dealing with the infatuation and then lust, and then slowly it might mature into the form of genuine love. but it can be extended to any forms of deep affection as the following, like motherly love, the nurturing care that mother gives, okay, fatherly love, brotherly love, a son's love for his father or mother as well as a daughter's love for her father mother, a student's love for his teacher mentor, a worker's love for his boss mentor, man's love in general for animals, especially pet animals. So there are people who love their cats or dogs so much than even human beings. And then man, so people love to grow trees, plants, flowers, okay. So live in beautiful natural surroundings. So these are also various forms of love, but normally when you say love, people think that it is something that is expressed on a particular day like Valentine's Day in the form of a card. But the one who understands real love knows that all days are Valentine's Day, and then love is something that is not just expressed in that form. And when a person is in love, genuine love, it radiates through the entire personality. She or he becomes lovable by all owing to the positive qualities she or he will be exemplifying. Love is rather a combination of the following: understanding, optimism, goodness, truth, faith, fairness, friendship, responsibility, caring, compassion, respect, and surrender. One can make the list longer in terms of adding all positive qualities, but I would like to explain what is love through famous philosophical thinking, through well written poems which try to make you get a grasp of what is real love, instead of telling you in terms of adjectives and words. I just want you to feel what it is. So let's look at some very famous enumerations of love in the form of poetic expressions, philosophic thoughts, and then let's try to understand the qualities of love. So let's see various qualities, parameters, and expectations from someone who is in love with something. So the first important criterion of love is beyond doubt. It's doubtless. It's complete faithfulness. So there's a small poem from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, and this is what Hamlet's way of expressing his love to his lady love Ophelia. He actually sends this as a kind of love letter, and see, it's small but it's very poetic, delicate, and then convincing. He says, doubt thou the stars are fire. So thou is you, saying that you may doubt that the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move. So you may even doubt whether this sun is moving or not. Doubt truth to be a liar. So you may even doubt truth, okay, but never doubt I love. So he says that you should not ever doubt about the credibility of my feeling for you. So love, one particular quality Shakespeare points out is that it is beyond doubt. And then again his sonnets are the ones in which you can really understand the other parameters that he sets for true love. In one of the most famous sonnets, that is sonnet 116, Let me not to the marriage of true minds. So he emphasizes the point that love is constant and eternal. So it's like an ever fixed mark, he says. So it's worth reading the poem and understanding that and getting a grasp of what he tries to talk about love. He says, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. So at the outset itself he says that love is the bridge of true minds. It's an intellectual intercourse. It's a marriage of true minds, two minds marrying each other, liking each other. It's first the intellectual likeness, affinity. So he says that if the true minds have liked each other, he says, I will not put any hurdles, I will not admit impediments. And then he goes on to qualify what is love. He says, love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. So love is not love, he is trying to define which alters when it alteration finds, that is, if it can alter, change at a slight opportunity for changing, so then it is not love. Okay. Meaning, so somebody, uh, let's say a girl is in love with a boy who is with a bike. Okay. Now there's another person who is coming with a very posh foreign car, and then that person is also trying to show interest in the girl, and the girl changes. Okay. So that is what he says. It's not something that alters when it alteration finds. If there is a chance, if the mind changes, he says that's not true love. Or bends with the remover to remove. So or it yields to somebody who is trying to change the mind and then it changes. Oh no, it's an ever fixed mark. So it's constant, he says. It's an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It's like the lighthouse. Okay, it's fixed. And it is the star to every wandering bark. Another metaphor he gives is it's like the northern star, the pole star. So that is fixed, and then that gives direction to every wandering bark. So every ships, so which sail on the sea, so that will be able to get guidance from this ever fixed mark, whose worth is unknown, although his height be taken. So you can measure the height, okay, but then the worth is immeasurable. And then he later says that love is not time's fool. Time is personified here, and then he says that it's not the fool of time, because time cannot come and cheat love. Though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. So time is personified as somebody who is coming with a sickle and is able to cut through all rosy lips and cheeks, meaning, so all physical beauty, physical hallmarks of beauty, says that time can change. So if somebody fell in love with some outwardly appearance, he says that will change in time. But love alters not with these brief hours and weeks, but love will not change because time is changing, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. So it will go till the doomsday. Okay, that is, even after death, there is judgment's day. Love will be lasting even beyond that point of time. And then he says, he challenges people, if this be error and upon me proved, I never writ nor no man ever loved. He says, if you prove that I am wrong in this, so I will never write any more poem. And then it also implies that no man ever loved. So love is this constancy of purpose, and it is eternal. It lives even beyond death. Time cannot control love. So that's Shakespeare. But at the same time, today you know that love is taken too literal, and then it simply amounts to saying these three magical words, I love you. But as it is explained by another great poet, D.H. Lawrence, love is not in saying I love you. So love is something that you show in deed, not in words. And in fact, he says it's beyond words. And another thing, he says that if you are trying to use words to manipulate your love, he says it's not love. It's a kind of mind perverted love, and you only make mess of love, but there is no love actually. And then he talks about his one instance where he actually made a mess of it, and he explains how. So we have made a great mess of love since we made an ideal of it. So it's not like idealizing something, keeping somebody as an idol and then worshipping the other person, like we have studied in this fixed mindset and growth mindset. So growth mindset actually allows somebody to criticize, whereas in fixed mindset the person wants the partner to be something like a romantic partner, to be worshipped and idolized. So he says that by making an ideal of it, okay, so instead of looking that as a practical thing that you can live through, okay, by supporting each other, we made an ideal of it, and so we made a mess of it. And then he says, the moment I swear to a woman, a certain woman, all my life, that is, I promise to give all my life to this woman, the moment I begin to hate her. So the meaning is that the moment I commit, okay, that I am giving a bond, I am writing in bond that I will love you forever. He says that moment I start hating her, because love is something that you cannot bind, you cannot commit, it is unconditional. The moment I even say to a woman, I love you, my love dies down considerably. Okay, so you will find that true love is never expressed through these words, and then he says that when I say that, my love dies down considerably. The moment love is an understood thing between us, okay, even if you understand, says we are sure of it, it's a cold egg, it isn't love anymore. Says you should give it this flexibility, it should be flexible, so you should not try to fix it. And then he makes another comparison. He says love is like a flower, it must flower and fade. If it doesn't fade, it is not a flower, it is either an artificial rag blossom or an immortal for the symmetry. So here again he is talking about the fluctuating nature of love. He says that it should be able to flower and fade. So there should be understanding and even misunderstanding, and then love is something that should be able to withstand both of these situations in life. If you are not having that, he says it's just like an artificial blossom decorated on a carpet, and that stays forever in the same manner. And then the modern love, where mind interferes, mind manipulates. The moment the mind interferes with love, or the will fixes on it, or the personality assumes it as an attribute, or the ego takes possession of it, it is not love anymore, it's just a mess. And we have made a great mess of love: mind perverted, will perverted, ego perverted love. So what is he implying is, love is something that cannot be manipulated by mind. The first thing that you should give up in love is ego, and forever you should not bring this ego in between. Will should not come, will in the sense trying to control, take domination of the other person. Now if these things are all there, he says that then you only make a mess of love, you do not actually have real love. Okay, this is according to D.H. Lawrence, and he typifies the modern condition in which love is not actually growing like a leaf to the tree in a very spontaneous manner. So it's WhatsApped, it's Facebooked, and then it's literally manipulated, and then once assets and possessions have been estimated, and then the material wealth has been taken into consideration before actually even emotionally feeling that this person can actually love. It becomes a kind of staged, managed thing, and that is what he says. Then you are actually making a mess of love. It's not true love, it's not real love. Similar thought is expressed by Khalil Gibran in his famous poem Love One Another, where he tries to emphasize the point that love is not keeping someone in bondage. He says, love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. So you see, he says that give enough space. So love one another, but make not a bond of love. Do not make a bondage, but rather a sea can move between the shores of your souls. Let there be sufficient gap. So you be independent, at the same time you try to be interdependent also. That's what he says in the next few lines. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. So you give, but then it's not for the possession of the other one, or not to be kept in bondage, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. So the hand of life is a all encompassing life, so where your hearts can be contained, not to one single particular person. And stand together, yet not too near together. So you can be standing together, but not too near together, in the sense too much of leaning on each other. For the pillars of the temple stand apart. So if you want to raise something like a temple, something that is holy, something that is sacred, something that is highly respectful, highly dignified, so then you need to keep them like pillars of the temple. They stand apart and then they support the temple. So you should not stand close and lean on each other and keep bondage of each other, make slave of one to the other. And then he gives another interesting example. He says, "And the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow." So if you look at the tall trees like the oak and cypress, so they grow tall, they are self-reliant, and then they are not depending on some other trees, not in each other's shadow. So they are highly independent. So here he tries to highlight the point that love is something that is independent but capable of being interdependent, but it's not going to keep someone in bondage. So that is his vision of love. Let's look at Richard Lovelace's idea about love, where he talks about this in his poem To Althea from Prison. So here he says that love is complete freedom. In the poem, actually the poet is trying to depict a situation in which this was an autobiographical incident where he was imprisoned for some reason, and then in the prison he wrote the poem to his lady love Althea. And look at what he says. He says, "Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage." He says, all these stone walls which are surrounding me cannot make a prison for me, nor iron bars a cage. They cannot cage me, my spirit, my love. Okay. Again he is emphasizing on the fact that love is freedom, and it's such a free spirit that nobody can bind it. Minds innocent and quiet take that for an hermitage. So when you put me inside, it's just like a hermitage. If I have freedom in my love and in my soul I am free, so implies that I am actually free in my love, and in my soul also I am free. Angels alone that soar above enjoy such liberty. So the love that I am experiencing, even if you put in my prison, and the spirit in which I am able to connect to my lady love, only angels, they will be able to enjoy the kind of liberty that I am enjoying. Similar thought is echoed by Richard Bach. So in simple words, he says that if you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they are yours. If they don't, they never were. So if you release someone, he says, don't keep them with you, don't crush them or cage them with your love, but then you set them free, allow them to do whatever they want to do. And if the love is real, they'll come back to you and they'll stay with you, and then it's yours. And if they don't, it means they never were, they never were with you. And then the most interesting and most appealing one actually comes from the Bible, where it tries to emphasize the point that love is unconditional and all encompassing. It's from Corinthians. So let's read this and then I'll explain simultaneously. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels but have not love. So he says that if I speak any languages, I may be a very wise man, I may be able to speak so many languages and just even like angels, but have not love, if my heart is not able to feel for someone, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. I am just an inanimate sounding thing, that's all. So my language has no meaning. My words are just useless sounds. Okay. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, so I may have the gift of foreseeing things, I may be able to collect all wisdom from the world, I may have that much capability. And if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. So even if I have faith, but it's without love, he says, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. So it is patient, so it can go beyond certain limits of tolerance. It's always patient. And it's kind, it's compassionate. So in some of the earlier versions of this Bible, instead of the word love, charity is used. So you can understand that charity, the compassion that you have for fellow feeling, so that is interpreted as love and is kind. It does not envy, so it does not feel jealous about somebody's possession. It does not boast, so it's not something that you show off. It's not proud. Okay, so with proud, arrogance comes. It's not showing one's arrogance. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. So when you really love someone, you cannot get angry with the person. It keeps no record of wrongs. So when you love someone, it's for warts and all. It's for accepting one's limitation. And it's not keeping a record of wrong and saying tit for tat. You did something wrong, so I'll do that for you and prove you how it hurt me on that day. And love does not delight in evil. So it doesn't enjoy doing bad thing at all, but rejoices with the truth. It enjoys being truthful. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So, of all the human emotions, so here it is said that love is the most important one because it is all encompassing and it is unconditional. It cannot get angry, it is patient and it is truthful, it protects, it trusts and hopes and perseveres. Let me conclude with one more interesting thought from Khalil Gibran, where he says that love is something that gives you direction. And when you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I am in the heart of God. Because you are almost becoming divine. Okay, instead of saying, I feel God in me, you can rather say, I am in the heart of God. Think not you can direct the course of love. You will not direct the course of love. You will not give some direction to how your love should proceed. For love, if it finds you worthy, if it considers you worthy, directs your course. It will give you direction. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. Now, the point that it gives you direction is very interesting because you hear so many stories of people who have literally crossed any mountains, seas, just to achieve something for the person that they love so much. So it need not be a romantic partner, but it could be for children, it could be for parents, it could be for some business partners, friends. I was touched by a story of a very old man who is going to work every day, even at the age of 70, 80, 80 and getting some daily wage just to take care of the education of his granddaughter who lost her parents in an accident. So that love as a direction, as a purpose, so that he should make her educated. So he's keeping this old man pull along even in his old age, and he goes for work, he gets some money, he ensures that this small girl gets education. So that is one example, but there are so many examples where you know that just once you know that you can feel for someone, so you learn that it's giving you direction, purpose, and then it goads you to do something which changes your personality. And that is why love and personality, and when it changes you, it's evident in you and people are able to see the time that you were loveless and alone, and the time that love was felt by you, and then the way you expressed in your action, so that nobody will miss it. Having said this, sometimes like people using the name of love, or rather they abuse it by misdirecting others, misguiding others, or getting lost in this. And let's see in the next one how you can manage this emotion when it goes out of control, or how you can use this effectively within control, and how you can get benefits, and how will people measure you in terms of the way you are able to express this. Two interesting books if you are more interested in collecting wise thoughts on love. One is from Ruskin Bond, A Little Book of Love and Companionship, A Little Book of Love and Companionship, so published recently in 2016, which contains lot of wise thoughts on love. The other philosophical book on love and life in general is Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. There are two links I have given you from the internet, which actually takes some of the passages from Khalil Gibran, one on love, the other one on marriage, and then they try to discuss what is real love. So if you are interested to get a quick idea of what is Gibran's view on love and marriage, you can go to the internet link. But if you want to understand his full philosophy of life, apart from just love and marriage, you should read The Prophet. So it's one of the must read books that I would like to suggest for you. So with this thought full of love, so I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you will be able to assess the level and intensity of love that you have for yourself, for the people around you, and how positively you are able to express it and use it to enhance your personality. So I hope these thoughts give you one clear-cut view about love. So today there are a lot of things which are coming from corporate houses, the multinational companies, so in the form of greeting cards. So whatever written is in a greeting card is considered to be real love. But these are wise thoughts that I have shared with you, and then we'll continue with this in the next one more session on love and how to manage love. So until then, I take leave from you. Thanks for watching this video, and have a nice day.